Elmhurst College is a college, not a big impersonal university. That means that people know each other and that every day excellent faculty members and excellent students are working closely together and pushing each other to perform at their very best. Elmhurst is a liberal arts college, and that means that we work hard to help our students develop the fundamental capacities of critical thinking and effective communication and good judgment. Elmhurst takes very seriously its challenge to prepare students for professional life, so that you'll see students working very hard to become true professionals in medicine and law and education and all the many areas in which our students go out to make a positive difference in the world. In short, Elmhurst is a great place to continue one's education because it truly is what college ought to be.
Elmhurst College. What college ought to be.
Please be seated. Welcome to this commencement convocation of Elmhurst College. A convocation is a calling together, and we have been called together today to honor an important achievement in the life of each new graduate of our college and to celebrate our life together as an academic community. Family and friends have come as witnesses with joy in their hearts. The members of the faculty have come wearing the regalia of their office, symbolizing the unbroken bond between what we do here at Elmhurst College and the noble tradition of liberal learning through the centuries. The members of the class of 2007 have come after gathering together in the chapel for a time of quiet reflection and thanksgiving in the baccalaureate tradition. The college's ancient hash bell has called us to our appointed places, and we are ready. And so I declare, in the words with which we open each academic convocation, the company of scholars is assembled. Let the ceremonies begin. We're pleased to have with us today the Reverend Cliff Airy, Minister for Special Events, Creativity, and the Arts of the United Church of Christ, and father of Raji Airy of the class of 2007, to lead us in the invocation.
This is indeed a day of celebration, an acknowledgement that graduation is not an ending point, but the commencement of new possibilities, a doorway into the future, a springboard into a new adventure. Writer Frederick Buechner understands this adventure as God's call for each of us to live a life that goes far beyond just finding a job, but that all that we do and all that we say is really a holy purpose. And how do we discern God's call? Buechner says, the place God calls you to is the place where your deep gladness and the world's deep hunger meet. I invite you, if you are able, to stand for the prayer of invocation. Please rise. And join me in the spirit of prayer. Let us pray. Wondrous and amazing God, on this day of new beginnings, we open ourselves to the Spirit's calling as we listen for your still speaking voice. Like a painter brushing color from palette to canvas, a poet penning words on the page, a musician playfully enticing melodies from an instrument, a dancer leaping into space, a potter fashioning beauty from earth and clay. We acknowledge that each of us is called to explore the pathway of creative living, and that our gifts and abilities achieve their ultimate purpose when they are used to transform the world into a place of hope rather than despair, of imagination rather than business as usual, of integrity rather than injustice, of peace rather than conflict. As we celebrate the achievement of these young women and men today, we ask your blessing on each one as they strive to discern the next steps on their journey, to discover their deep gladness, joy, and excitement, and of their own unique gifts, and then uncover a deep hunger, a need, an opportunity where they can make a difference in a world beset by so many needs, heartache, pain, and tragedy. Gracious and loving God, we pause now to remember the recent tragedy at Virginia Tech, where senseless violence has taken the lives of so many innocent students and faculty. In this moment of silence, we unite to offer our prayers of sympathy and healing for all those lives shattered by violence and death. O God of all that is and all that is yet to be, of all hopes and dreams, desires and yearnings, God of many names and the wellspring of all peoples in this global village, open our hearts, minds, and souls to the limitless possibilities that you place before us in the spirit of love, compassion, and justice. We offer this prayer to you. Amen. Amen. Please be seated.
The survival and strength of Elmhurst College has, through its history, depended upon men and women willing to invest their time and energy as trustees of the long-term welfare of the institution. Thomas Tyrrell, a member of the Elmhurst College class of 1967 and currently managing director of Glengarry LLC, is completing an exceptionally productive term as chair of the college's Board of Trustees, and he is here with us to bring greetings from the board.
Good afternoon, President and Mrs. Curitan, faculty, staff, and administrative members of the Elmhurst College family, parents, relatives, and friends of our graduating students, and of course, the graduates themselves. It is with genuine pleasure that I bring you greetings and heartfelt congratulations from the 40 members of the Elmhurst College Board of Trustees that give significant amounts of their time to this institution. Half of those are alumni. We are represented here today by 18 of our trustees, the largest turnout of trustees in the 136-year history of our institution, a significant indication of the commitment of this board to the college, which typifies our efforts to increase board connectedness and engagement with both the college and its student body. I'd like to introduce our trustee attendees, if they would please stand as I call their names and remain standing. Wes Beckton, Bill Boyd, Ken Bristol, who will assume the role of chair this coming July 1st, Larry Braskamp, Jack Cashman, we have some on the side as well, Joe Corso. Joe is from the class of 95. Ralph Lundgren, class of 57. Ron Lucan, Ed Mumkus, the class of 74. The Reverend Charles Meyer, the class of 56. Lauren Nordgren. Dennis Patterson, a class of 1970. Rudy Shoddy. Bob Ullman, the class of 1971. Russ Wiegand, the class of 64. And Jim Yerbick. We also have one life trustee with us on the stage today, Joy Raisin. And additionally, we are joined by 6 trustee spouses, including Susan Austin, Jan Boyd, Peggy Cashman, Marty Wiegand, Linda Yerbick, and my wife, Diane. Our most sincere thanks to each of you for all you do for our institution. In July 2002, I was elected board chair, and as Brian said, with my 5-year term ending next month, this is my final opportunity to greet a graduating class. It's also hard for me to imagine that exactly 40 years ago to the day, I sat right down there on the mall thinking about my diploma and what I was going to do with my life. I loved this school when I attended here, and with each passing year, I have come to love it even more. Each day I realized that my stay here presented me with the ability to dance exceedingly well on the stages of life with which I was presented throughout the course of my life. In return, I have done everything I could to become increasingly engaged with my alma mater, to somehow try to pay this college back for the tremendous impact it has had on my successes and achievements, both in business as well as my personal life, and also for how my Elmhurst experience helped me to weather the storms that at some point invade all our lives. Initially, it was hard to figure out how to stay engaged. To correct this issue, in October of 2002, our trustees instituted an Alumni Relations Committee of the board, which at that time was the only institution of higher learning having a formal board alumni committee. It was our intent not so much to try to resurrect involvement from past alumni, although we wanted to send a clear message to them that we were taking a new and quite aggressive approach to enhancing our alumni's experiences going forward. It was more an effort to establish a connection with our current and future students by establishing the importance and the enjoyment of becoming an engaged alumni. And we began to try and impart that feeling starting as early as your freshman orientation. Your class of 2007 is the very first class that will have graduated under this greatly expanded effort, and many notable things have begun to change. We found an alumni circle during your stay here, a place to relax while you were here as a student, and a place we hope to renew old acquaintances and establish new ones on what we hope we believe will be many visits back to the campus after you receive your diplomas today. We established a totally different approach to Family Day, and we increased the attendance on campus from 129 students 5 years ago to over 500 guests on Family Weekend this past year, and the expectation of over 600 members participating this coming September. We established presidential alumni visits around the country on a planned and frequent basis that many of you will have opportunities to attend. And we've visited more than 30 cities throughout the U.S. since 2003. We've also expanded dramatically the scope of festivities and the types of reunions held at homecomings, and have substantially increased the percentage of our alumni involvement. The attendance at your graduation today by 18 trustees and 6 spouses is no accident. This is our way of showing support for this first class to graduate under the new Elmhurst College alumni umbrella, and to make sure by our example that each of you realizes, in addition to the support of your parents, relatives, and friends to help you get where you are today, that every single person connected with this college, from the trustees and spouses that are here today to our cafeteria cashiers, have gone out of their way to make your educational process a most treasured and memorable one. A great example of our expectations for each member of the class of 2007 going forward is contained in an old parable that I believe quite elegantly exemplifies our charge to you today. An old man going a lone highway came in the evening, cold and gray, to a chasm, vast and deep and wide, through which was flowing a sullen tide. The old man crossed in the twilight dim. That swollen stream held no fears for him, but turned when safe on the other side to build a bridge to span the tide. "Old man," said a fellow pilgrim near, "you're wasting your strength with building here. Your journey will end with the ending day. You never again must pass this way. You have crossed the chasm deep and wide. Why build you this bridge at eventide?" The builder lifted his old gray head. "Good friend, in the path I have come," he said, "there followeth after me today a youth whose feet must pass this way. This swollen stream, which was naught to me, to that fair-haired youth may a pitfall be. He too must cross in the twilight dim. Good friend, I am building this bridge for him." One last thought. What college ought to be is not simply Elmhurst College's signature phrase for what has happened to you over your years here. The right college experience should stay with you throughout your lifetime. As an institution, we have recommitted ourselves to a renewed focus on our alumni, who today you become, and to beginning that transition while you are here, still here as a student. Our objective is to keep Elmhurst College as a small part of your lives forever. This is really not a pitch for your money. If from the start you elect to help build that bridge for outstanding future students like yourselves, In even a small way, that would be wonderful. It certainly would show that our efforts to reestablish the importance of alumni to this institution is headed in the right direction. What it is, however, is an effort to enable each of you to stay engaged with and give back some form of involvement to our college, to help it to continue to grow and prosper from your experiences which are to come. Find ways to stay engaged as mentors, as speakers, and as volunteers, by attending college sporting events, lectures, and concerts, by creating internships with your employers-to-be, by becoming members of our alumni cabinet, and through attending homecoming and other alumni events, or perhaps even becoming a member of this board. I can assure you that the college will do everything they can on their part to help keep you engaged with your alma mater. Again, from your Board of Trustees, we wish you heartfelt congratulations and best wishes for all of your futures.
Each year, the college selects a small number of outstanding individuals to hold up to our graduating class and to the world as exemplars of our educational mission. The honorary degrees we grant them are earned not by completing courses, but by living lives of quality and significance. As we honor them, we affirm the high standards they set for all of us, and we invite all our graduates to aim at accomplishments as worthy as those we recognize. To present the first candidate, I call on the Reverend Michelle Hughes, Associate Chaplain of the college.
Mr. President, the Reverend John H. Thomas is a leader of the church which shares a vitally important heritage with Elmhurst College. Our college owes its very existence to religious leaders who sought to ensure that a well-educated clergy and laity would always be available to the churches and communities of German immigrants in the Midwest. Today's United Church of Christ is the direct descendant through several mergers of the German Evangelical Synod of North America, which planted this school here in Elmhurst in 1871. This year marks the 50th anniversary of the creation of the United Church of Christ. It is particularly appropriate that Elmhurst College recognize this anniversary by welcoming back to campus the senior elected leader of the church with which we retain an active affiliation. Reverend John Thomas is General Minister and President of the United Church of Christ. He has brought inspired vision and extraordinary skill to his challenging position and is widely recognized as a strong and steady voice for the denomination, for ecumenical relationships among churches, and for social justice in the nation and the world. It is a pleasure to present the Reverend John H. Thomas as a worthy candidate for the honorary degree of Doctor of Divinity.
John Thomas, Elmhurst College values your leadership and the important part of our heritage and our identity represented by the church you lead. And so by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Elmhurst College, I confer upon you the honorary degree of Doctor of Divinity with all the rights and distinction thereunto appertaining. To present the next candidate, I call on Dr. Wallace Lagerwey, Professor of German and Director of International Education and Off-Campus Programs.
Mr. President, Joy Raisin is a woman who has made a positive difference, both in the communities in which she has lived and at this college. She has wide-ranging interests, a curious mind, a thoughtful approach to life, and willingness to take a stand for what she concludes is right. Early in life, she recognized that bigotry and small-mindedness have human costs, and she resolved to seek and support alternatives. Here at Elmhurst, where she served as a trustee and is now an honorary life trustee, she helped to create the Holocaust Education Project to teach future generations about horrors that must never be repeated. As that important effort enters its 18th year, which in the Jewish tradition is associated with the celebration of life, it is especially appropriate for the college to recognize someone who has helped give life to this annual opportunity to learn. Joy Raisin's influence has been significant, whether in volunteer settings or community leadership or political causes. She is a model for members of the graduating class as one who has helped to build a better world from the ground up. It is a pleasure to present Joy Peterkin Raisin as a worthy candidate for the honorary degree of Doctor of Laws.
Joy Peterkin Raisin, you have contributed to the common welfare by thinking and speaking and organizing and leading wherever you have found yourself. And so, by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Elmhurst College, I confer upon you the honorary degree of Doctor of Laws, with all the rights and distinction thereunto appertaining. To present the final candidate, I call on Dr. Jennifer Boyle, Assistant Professor of Political Science and Chair of the Department of Political Science.
Mr. President, Phillips Talbot has served his country and the world with distinction. As a military officer in World War II, he worked in naval intelligence in India and China. As a journalist, he covered some of the most dramatic moments in the history of India and Pakistan. As a diplomat, he held the post of Assistant Secretary of State for Near Eastern and South Asian affairs during the critical years of the early 1960s, and then served as United States Ambassador to Greece. As a scholar of Asian affairs, he has been a writer and a teacher, and served for many years as president of the Asia Society, helping to build it into one of the leading international advocates of better relations and deeper understanding among the peoples of Asia and the United States. Phillips Talbot represents a generation of leaders who helped to guide our nation through an extraordinary period of history. How fortunate we are that his wide experience, his profound knowledge, and his steady wisdom can be an inspiration to the members of the Elmhurst College class of 2007 as they begin their journey into a challenging future. It is a pleasure to present Phillips Talbot as a worthy candidate for the honorary degree of Doctor of Laws.
Phillips Talbot, your life is a model of distinguished service to humanity, and so by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Elmhurst College, I confer upon you the honorary degree of Doctor of Laws with all the rights and distinction thereunto appertaining.
Thank you, Mr. President. you have greatly honored me, and I'm deeply appreciative of this. It's a marvelous day to be here, and I joyfully join with you on this happy day as the class of 2007 moves onward from their experience here. I congratulate all of those of you who will have your diplomas today. Possessing a degree from a liberal arts college as strong as Elmhurst College is an achievement you will carry with you the rest of your life. I congratulate also your parents and families. We know what part they have played in getting you to this point. And let's have a word for the Elmhurst College faculty and staff for their important part in making this outcome possible. Graduation Day is a time of recognition of the comprehensive teamwork that brought you here. As you look beyond this commencement day, I would like to touch on just 3 of the many dimensions your futures may hold. One is the increasing internationalization of our lives. Second is the ever speedier pace of social and economic changes. Third, and most important, is the issue of how to balance the pressures of life's changing forces against the quest for stability and moral underpinning that we all need. First, I believe you will be the most internationally oriented generation in American history. In fact, you already are. As you know, today's Americans buy more goods and services from abroad and sell more to foreign customers than ever before. The rise to global prominence of China, India, and I'm sorry, the wind is up here. We have to get a little careful. And other nations can only have a growing impact on the United States. We are deep in the age of globalization with all its benefits in building a worldwide economy as well as its costs in such ways as outsourced jobs. When persons like me, who grew up in the Middle West before World War II, left college, the world outside the United States seemed of little relevance to us. I became a cub reporter for the Chicago Daily News, then the city's leading evening newspaper, with the expectation of making a career in journalism. It was not to be. My exposure to the outside world began unexpectedly when I was 23, and the foundation offered me a fellowship to try to learn something about India, of all places. India then was still a British colony, about which I knew nothing and had no prior interest, but the opportunity seemed a possible path to becoming a foreign correspondent, which was my ambition. So I spent 3 years steeped in Indian affairs, a life-changing experience that exposed me to a whole new set of cultural and value systems. Then in World War II came 2 more years in India as a naval officer, followed by 2 years in China. And after the war, the Chicago Daily News sent me back to India as a correspondent to cover the end of British rule there. To observe the emergence of independent India and its partition to create Pakistan was to witness one of the great political transitions of the 20th century. This 2-step process, as you know, began with the collapse of the Western imperialist system that for centuries had ruled the peoples of much of Asia and Africa. That was followed by the current array of individual self-governing nation states, each with its own national and interests, creating a thoroughly different climate for international relations generally. It was my good fortune to come to know several of the Asian nationalist leaders of the post-World War II period. They were giants of their age. With fascination, I was able to watch Mahatma Gandhi, the aesthetic moralist and politically shrewd architect of Indian independence, conduct his unique nonviolent struggles with the British and sometimes with his own associates from an entirely different perspective from any I had learned about at the University of Illinois, where I went to college. Truly a great soul, Gandhi was a Hindu to his core, committed to a simple village-style life in which means were at least as important as ends, hard as a rock against British rule, but warm in his friendships with individual Britons and Americans, and an inspiration to people as distant as Martin Luther King, Jr. I also greatly admired Gandhi's closest political associate, Jawaharlal Nehru, who became India's prime minister and prime nation builder for the first 17 years of its existence. A complex, modern-minded activist, Nehru cemented the democratic track that has distinguished India among developing countries. He also pushed the growth of industries in India that launched the elite technological institutes whose graduates have contributed so much to Silicon Valley as well as to Indian development. The counterpoise to Gandhi and Nehru, of course, was Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the legalistic, adamant founder of Pakistan and another powerful figure. His death a year after independence deprived that fledgling nation of the strong strategic leadership it badly needed and opened the way for decades of military rule. Like the founders of the United States, these were men of large strategic vision who brought profound changes to their own nations and to global relationships. Unfortunately, as so often happens in countries after independence, their successors were not always, did not always measure up to the first generation leadership. I have no idea what great forces may sweep across the world in the 21st century, or who its leaders may be. But I do suggest that for your own welfare, you pay attention to these dynamics as they emerge and be inventive and flexible in adjusting to them. They will count for better or for worse. So it is not irrelevant to urge you as you contribute to the structural priorities of America's 300 billion people to find ways to take into account the needs of the other 6 billion people on Earth. May I invite you to consider a few of the issues that will confront you in the years ahead. A main one, of course, is what we are only beginning to understand about the reach of environmental degradation and global warming. As you know, anxious scientists now predict immense changes in climate, sea levels, desertification, and other planetary conditions during your lifetimes. Those are impending realities that I'm afraid your generation won't have the luxury of ignoring, as too many of our policymakers are doing now. Other challenges for you are paths to world peace and our failure to resolve the racial and poverty issues that trap so many Americans in unemployment, homelessness, and poor education. We now live in a nation of many races and cultures. In my lifetime, there has been much progress in dealing with cultural and social diversity, but how far we have yet to go. To the degree that you can embrace the diversity within our nation and be open to the talents and gifts that people have to offer, you will significantly strengthen our 21st century society. Obviously, many challenges await you. The world-related burdens that your generation will take up as you move into the seats of power will be heavy. Earlier, I mentioned the ever-increasing pace of change in our society. I fully anticipate that your generation will experience abrupt changes even faster than those that have shaped mine. Scientific, business, and even artistic breakthroughs are bringing these changes. Thousands of laboratories, universities, and institutions here and around the world are creating new products and services. Pioneering industries are bursting forth. Just in communications, who a few years ago had even heard of Google or Blackberries or Wi-Fi? Somewhere I've read the suggestion that 60% of the jobs available during your careers don't yet exist. I suspect that this is true. To be successful in that environment, you will need an openness, flexibility, and willingness to continue to learn. In short, you will need to be able to identify and seize new opportunities when they come your way. Elmhurst, I'm confident, has helped you prepare for this openness to new ideas and situations. Life is change. However, we all need something steady to sustain us as we go along, particularly during the rough patches that come into most lives. What that something is will depend on you as an individual. When today I visited the campus sculpture of your great alumnus, that monumental figure, Reinhold Niebuhr, I recalled the strong impression of his seminal book, Moral Man and Immoral Society, on me as a student. But I thought more about how this powerful thinker had integrated his scholarship with his faith throughout his career. He and people like him became models for many of us. It happens that my own spiritual journey has been rooted in Reformed Protestant Christian belief, which to my surprise was strengthened by my years of association with South Asian Hindus and Muslims. Among them, I found many whose personal faiths were deeply sustaining and life-guiding. I honored them for that, while holding, with good reason, to my own faith. I pray that you too have found or will find the spiritual basis to sustain you through your lives. You Elmhurst College graduates are blessed to carry with you the heritage of this church-related liberal arts institution. As one of your college publications puts it, quote, as an Elmhurst graduate, you'll continue your life's journey having spent significant time as part of the nurturing community that explores belief, respects spirituality, and fosters compassion. That's not a bad achievement if you managed it. So I congratulate you again as you move out into the wider world, and I wish you well in the many endeavors that will make up your lives. May God bless you and be with you always. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Talbot, for being with us and for helping to send our graduates out into the world to which you have contributed so much. I now call on the 2007 Senior of the Year, Brian Slackard, and the President of the Alumni Association, Linda Flores-Nat-Carney.
Thank you, Dr. Kierden. On behalf of the class of 2007, I'd like to present the Alumni Association and the college with our class gift, a projector and projection screen for the Blue Jay Roost in the Frick Center.
And on behalf of the Alumni Association, I appreciate and thank you for your gift and give you one piece of advice. You have been students for a short time. You will be alumni for a lifetime. Please keep in touch with your alma mater.
Thank you, Brian and Linda, and class. The college is grateful for this wonderful gift. It's something that will enhance student life at Elmhurst for years to come, and it is also a symbol of what I trust will be the lasting commitment to the college of this great class of 2007. And now to present the graduating class, I call on the Vice President for Academic Affairs and Dean of the Faculty, Alzada Tipton.
Will the candidates for the degrees of Masters in Business Administration, Master of Science in Computer Network Systems, Master of Education in Early Childhood Special Education, Master of Education in Teacher Leadership, Master of Arts in English Studies, Master of Arts in Industrial Organizational Psychology, Master of Arts in Professional Accounting, and Master of Science in Supply Chain Management, please stand. Will the candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Music, and Bachelor of Liberal Studies please stand? Graduates, in keeping with the traditions of this ceremony, you may now move your tassels to the left side of your mortarboard. President Curitin, I present these candidates for graduation from Elmhurst College with the degrees indicated on their diplomas.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Elmhurst College, I confer upon you the bachelor's degree or the master's degree that the faculty has recommended for you with all the privileges and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. And now I call on you to come forward individually to receive the diploma certifying your degree. Assistant Professor Janice Pohl will call you each by name. 50 years from now, one of you will be asked back to shake the hands of the members of the class of 2057. Today, you will all be welcomed into the distinguished company of Elmhurst College graduates by Dr. Ralph Lundgren, a member of the 50-year class of 1957 and of the college's Board of Trustees. Please come forward now to be recognized.
Mohammed Bukhana. Karen Ann Britton. Cheryl A. Elliott. Maya G. Estefan. Kevin J. Fitzgerald. Is not here. Okay. Lauren M. Fontella. Sylvia Gomez. Gerardo Herrera. Craig Edward Jordan. Daniel R. Casso. Sandeep Bharat Kumar Mehta. Lori B. Wine. Matt Zoko. Gregory Black. Jocelyn Cadet. Mohammed R. Haq. Laura Brown. Natalie D. Cadet. Bethann M. Carey. Candy M. Natali. Andrew O. Latia M. Robertson. Lisa M. Simpkins. Cynthia Louise Belmaris. Shelley Renee Scott. Alberto Arroyo. Yvonne T. Benson. April C. Brown. Manolo L. Comprado Jr. Mark Felix. Gregory Gard. Jamie M. Goins. Andrea Grollo. Stephanie R. Heinlein. Amy L. Kazda. Candace M. Ludwig. Ashley Orchard. Kristen N. Pulaski. Seth C. Pride. Regina M. Reedy. Brian W. Reschke. Pamela E. Roselli. Sergio Rivera. Ashley M. Roberts. Elizabeth M. Schultz. Catherine A. Stamatis. Danielle Banks. Kelly Cusack. Matthew W. Miller. Jennifer M. Stanyetz. Michael F. Williams. Daniel L. Alexander. Brian B. Anderson. Sherry Ard. Gary J. Seahack. Matthew Crawford. Elizabeth A. Fisher.
Conrad Hernandez. Ka Ho Ho. Sherry L. Jones. Justin T. Kiewit. Michael Mansky. Julie Ann Abraham. John Michael Adams. Raji Elizabeth Airy. It's Jacqueline Marie Alberico, summa cum laude. Umar Ali. Melissa Ann Allen, magna cum laude. Rita Andruchetti. Aaron R. Andrews. George C. Andrikokis, cum laude. Georgia Angelopoulos. Jill Christine Aparo, cum laude. Joellen L. Augustine. Jeanette Ann Babyar. Jessica Bakutis. Jacqueline Sue Bartles, cum laude. Shay Emma Batchelor. Deanna Lynn Bavaro. Carlin Lee Bearwald, cum laude. Ashley Marie Bell. Renee A. Burnell. Brandy J. Bertelli. Keisha A. Bess. Zachary M. Biggis, cum laude. Jenny A. Bird. Carolyn A. Biskup. Melissa Yvette Bittner, cum laude. Jamie L. Bledsoe. Monica Louise Bobis. Daniel Christopher Boshen. Valerie M. Bonato, summa cum laude. Antonino Bondi. Valerie Ruth Bone, summa cum laude. Linda Booker. Dana Lynn Bornhoff. Carrie Boros. Elizabeth Lynn Bosshart. Christy Lorraine Boyles. Brooke Marie Brennan. Jennifer Marie Brennan. J. Anthony Brizzolera. Katie Elizabeth Brown. Jill M. Buck, cum laude. Kelly R. Buck. Erin Day Bufton. Erin Day Bufton. Laura Catherine Bundy. Colleen M. Burritz. David Francis Burke. Jill Ann Burke. Jennifer Dawn Bushnock. Romeo M. Cabas. Antoinetta Caldarella. Teresa Caldarella. Malika K. Caldwell. Tondra Jane Caldwell. Patrick Charles Callahan, magna cum laude. Sarah Louise Camerata, cum laude. Martin Anthony Campbell. Joseph Paul Capra. Meredith L. Carey, summa cum laude. Amy Elizabeth Carlson. Brian R. Carr. Tracy Lynn Cellini. Brian Chassie. Michael J. Chernick. Jennifer L. Chappie. Alfonso Philip Charamonti. Jean A. Chelowa, cum laude. Magdalene C. Cristiano, cum laude. Rosa C. Cerrone. Christina R. Colella. Jamie Coley. Brian P. Collins. Brian M. Collins. Stephanie L. Comeau. Carl Constant. Anthony M. Contaldo, magna cum laude. Christina L. Conti. Kira Marie Ann Conway. Charisse C. Cook, magna cum laude. Jason M. Copeland. Lauren Corso. Claudia Cortez, summa cum laude. Christy Lou Cortezi. Raquel Cortez. Oh, okay. Travis Cox. William A. Cox. Teresa A. Crespo. Joseph R. Cullen. Elizabeth E. Chosnicka. Deborah Elise Dahlberg, magna cum laude. Bradley Vincent Dargan. Courtney Lynn Dower, cum laude. Michelle N. DeFranco. Michaela A. DeSimone, cum laude. Frank J. DiCarlo. Irvin E. DeCastro. Angela De Francesco. Melissa Dell, summa cum laude. Jacob Delort. Natalie Marie Dern, magna cum laude. Carol Marie De Simone. Sheila Florence De Vries. Amandeep Kaur Dami. Tiziana Di Benedetto, summa cum laude. Celine Diaz. Kelly Michelle Dillman, magna cum laude. Jade Dismore. Brandy Lynn Dixon, cum laude. Scott A. Domansky. Sarah L. Drews. Sandra Diane Dudich, magna cum laude. Brianne Irene Duncan. Louise Dykes. Carolyn A. Eck. Ashley M. Eklund, cum laude. Chiquita S. Ector. Leslie Edwards. Michael James Erickson, summa cum laude. Elizabeth Lynn Esposito, cum laude. Bria Lynn Farrar. Julia Joy Fellow. Nicholas J. Farron. Catherine Ferris, cum laude. Rachel Danielle Fine, summa cum laude. Lisa Catherine Finkrell, magna cum laude. Jennifer Albina Finnegan, summa cum laude. Jill Finnegan, cum laude. Hillary Cairo Fisher. Kimberly Elaine Fleming. Brenda Jean Forster. Charles Theodore Freitag, Jr., cum laude. Justine Nicole Frederick, summa cum laude. Christina Ann Fromel, cum laude. Ryan M. Fueling, cum laude. Patricia V. Garcia. Sergio Garcia, cum laude. Gabriel J. Gardner, magna cum laude. Carrie Louise Gatz, magna cum laude. Nasim A. Gebari. Kelly Ryan Giffen. Danielle Lynn Gifford. Jennifer G. Gillette, cum laude. Thomas Michael Gilligan. Morris L. Glazer. David Glau. Robert Goldblatt. Brian James Goodhart, magna cum laude. Melissa Marie Goodrich. Elizabeth Gorney, summa cum laude. Kelly M. Grazik. Aaron Joseph Gradberg. Megan Elise Grawl, magna cum laude. Jennifer M. Gray. Katie Gregory. Jennifer Marie Grork, magna cum laude. Pavel Romuald Grudish, summa cum laude. Thomas John Haggerty. Justin J. Hagstrom. Kelly Christine Hahn, cum laude. Jennifer Ann Harris. Julia Sachs Harter, magna cum laude. Matthew Lee Hart. Glenda Hatch. Allison Marie Hattenhauer, summa cum laude. Melissa Ann Hebert. Rachel Hennessy. Gail Lucy Herf. Gabriel Hernandez. Ignacio Hernandez Jr. John S. Herrera. Danielle Hildebrandt. Megan Joy Hillertz, cum laude. Ashley M. Hogan. David Josiah Horn, magna cum laude. Catherine Mary Houston, magna cum laude. Kirk Stephen Huber, Jr. Sarah Rose Huber. Jennifer Marie Hudson. Kiana B. Hughes. Amanda Hunt. Mary Huntowski. Karen Ide Hurula, summa cum laude. Lauren Elizabeth Iden, magna cum laude. Laura Elizabeth Intrain. Matthew Earps. Sherry C. Ursay, cum laude. Renee James. Reshmi Elizabeth James. Lori K. Janis, cum laude. Amber K. Jaworski. J.L. Mark Jerome. Wesley Thomas Jewell, magna cum laude. Laura Lee Johansson. Tanyata Maisha Johnson. Allison Jones. Kyle Matthew Jones, cum laude. Monique Michelle Jones. Pamela Ann Jones, cum laude. Michael J. Janokas, summa cum laude. Kristen Michelle Kagi. Cynthia K. Kadlick. Joshua David Kaminsky, cum laude. Laura Adrienne Kane, summa cum laude. Rachel Kariolich. Pardeep Kaur. Sebastian M. Kanjiora. Tabitha Kelleher. Elizabeth Nicole Kerr. Nina Marie Kessel. Samantha Stacy Kiley. Joanne K. Kim, cum laude. Danielle M. Kieran. Barbara Maria Klimzak. Carolyn Ann Klosek, cum laude. David M. Neller, cum laude. Michael I. Knight. Silvana Kokti. Brianne Francis Coletzos, magna cum laude. Christine E. Kolvitz. Elizabeth Ann Kondracki. Jesse M. Korzalik. Jacqueline Nicole Kosarek. Iqbal Koseli. Nicole Cotel, cum laude. Kathleen Marie Kowalski, summa cum laude. Katie Colleen Kozak. Kelly Ann Kral, cum laude. Stephanie Lynn Kruger. Brian David Kruschke. Jeanette Kruszewski, magna cum laude. Michael M. Kuhn. Jeffrey A. Kurowski. Lindsay Rose Labraska. Brian Patrick Lancaster. Sophia Yanina Langeth, magna cum laude. Bartosz P. Lapa. Sarah Jean Larson. Lauren Nicole Lekowitz. Brian Randall Lee. Michael Joseph Lenardi, cum laude. Anthony Michael Lentino, magna cum laude. Jennifer Ann Litchfield. Rose Marie Lofton Johnson. Rachel Ann Long, magna cum laude. Catherine Lowes, magna cum laude. Jennifer Marie Lowe. Peggy L. Lucas, magna cum laude. James Ryan Ludwig, cum laude. Judy Luke, cum laude. Kelly Ann Mag, cum laude. Sarah A. Moss, summa cum laude. Jennifer K. Matta. Natalie Nicole Mace, cum laude. Morgan Lynn Mader, summa cum laude. Trista J. Magnifico. Shraddha G. Mahadevia, magna cum laude. Andrew Lawrence Marchese III. Angelo Michael Marroquin, cum laude. Nicole Kathleen Marsky, cum laude. Nathaniel Robert Charles Martin. Catherine Masick. Morgan E. Matthews. Tara Matthew. Anne Louise Matich. Brett David McAllister. Claire Patricia McCarthy, summa cum laude. Ryan Lowell McGraw. Grace Marie McHugh, summa cum laude. Jillian McNally. Jacob D. McNamara, magna cum laude. Megan E. McNulty. Anthony McPherson. Cheryl Marie Menos. James S. Merzlock. Jennifer N. Messina. Nicholas James Metcalf. Sarah Grace Meyer. Nicholas D. Michael. Melissa Gail Migala. Zoran Minnick, cum laude. Raffaella Mirabali. Matthew B. Monroe, magna cum laude. Shan Shafi Matlani, cum laude. Matthew Murdoch, cum laude. Brian Muha. Adam Matthew Mugnani. Angela Nicole Mulcahy. Pamela S. Muller. Michelle E. Mumbauer. Mark P. Murawski. Bevan Murdoch. Rebecca J. Murphy. Anna Michelle Musial. Maria Teresa Villena Nato. Jessica A. Nelson, magna cum laude. Michelle C. Nelson. Rena V. Neary. Mai Gwen Nugent, magna cum laude. Jose Nieto. Kathleen H. Nigliazzo, cum laude. Amy Lynn North. Mary Eileen Norton, summa cum laude. Carlin Rebecca Norwalk, cum laude. Keith A. Nowicki, cum laude. Scott G. Nowicki, summa cum laude. James Allen Nugent. Jessica Maria Nuno. Daniel E. O'Connell IV. Joseph Walter Andrew O'Connell. Jacqueline Denise Onas. Deborah Marie Olson. Dina Marie Olson, cum laude. Bernard Olszewski. Stephen Jason Osborne. Patricia Ozell. Brian J. Pallady, summa cum laude. Amy L. Paposi. Sherwin J. M. Pasquale. Saranji Patel. Nyla M. Pate. Mary I. Patterson. Kevin Damon Paulus, magna cum laude. Angeline Marie Pecoraro. Demetria V. Perisic, magna cum laude. Annette M. Perrine. Lindsay Kathleen Perry, magna cum laude. Dexter Peterson. Stephanie S. Peterson. Christine M. Pfaff, magna cum laude. Susan Ann Piasecki. Stephen V. Piatek, cum laude. Colleen Marie Pipia. Brianne Pitro. Joseph S. Plazak, summa cum laude. Nicole Suzanne Papiella. Penelope Elizabeth Price, magna cum laude. Rosalva Prieto. Timothy A. Prorock. Juanita Pruitt. Anthony Pryor. Rebecca Pulak, summa cum laude. Sabrina Quain, magna cum laude. Lindsay Erin Corforth. Courtney Lenore Rackelin. Margaret M. Radvillas Perea, summa cum laude. Christopher D. Ragona. Maria A. Ragusa. Catherine A. Ramondi. Sheeny Raphael. Brian James Reed. Kathy Lee Rame, cum laude. Carolyn Joy Richardson, summa cum laude. Jennifer Joan Ridgway. Jennifer Lynn Reek, summa cum laude. Ian N. Robinson. Adriana R. Robles, magna cum laude. Michael Raymond Rockel. Manuel David Rodriguez, summa cum laude. Gregory Rohatch, summa cum laude. Amanda Dawn Romito. Arlene Rosado. Heather Ashley Rosenwinkel, magna cum laude. Amanda L. Rotchok. Jamie Andrea Rowe, summa cum laude. Travis John Bruckert, cum laude. Daniela Adelina Ruffalo, summa cum laude. James L. Rusica, Jr. Lauren Michelle Ribka, cum laude. Catherine J. Sager, summa cum laude. Maria Luisa Sanchez. Erica L. Sanders. Angelique Santiago. Margaret Noreen Santor, magna cum laude. Joel R. Satala. Edita Sawicka, cum laude. Michael Paul Sayre, cum laude. Anna Rose Scala. I'm up to Vincent. Oh, of course you do. For patients, you get your name twice. Anna Rose Scala. Vincent J. Scanio. Kristen Lynn Schaefer. Kathleen Elizabeth Schell, cum laude. Amy Jean Elizabeth Sherman, summa cum laude. Catherine Myrna Skipma. Christopher Schmidt. Mallory Eileen Schultz. Erin Marie Schreiner, cum laude. Nicole M. Schutte. Jenna Elizabeth Schultz. Mark Thaddeus Schwartz, cum laude. Eugenia H. Shortino. I skipped a Jennifer Schultz. Jennifer Lynn Schultz. Thelma Sellers. All right. Ani Samerjian, magna cum laude. Kathleen Marie Sen, magna cum laude. Jennifer Marie Serio. Jennifer Lee Shallow. Jeremy M. Sidabris. David Silva. Brian Robert Slackert, summa cum laude. Ashley K. Smith. Jennifer Deneen Smith, magna cum laude. Pamela Yvonne Smith. Candice Jo Sobansky. Margaret C. Sorcy, magna cum laude. Jacqueline Julie Sorcy, summa cum laude. Janet L. Spearing, cum laude. Rachel C. M. Spielman. Andrea Nicole Saint Marie, summa cum laude. Sarah Elizabeth Stacknick. Nicole Marie Stark, cum laude. Robin Lynn Starosta. Cheryl Ann Stevens, cum laude. Justin Ryan Stevens, summa cum laude. Jai Lynn Stolzenbach, cum laude. Monica Stopa, magna cum laude. Linda Malanka Stork, cum laude. Joseph C. Storino. Deborah Sue Strodman. Trina Marie Sulita. Jennifer Erin Sullivan. Kelly Swaim. Cynthia Ann Taylor, cum laude. Jenna Nicole Turpinus. Amanda Rose Terrafino. Kevin Aldrich Terry. Stephanie Yvette Toma. Colin R. Thompson. Sarah Joy Thorpe, cum laude. Rebecca Lynn Tobiaski, magna cum laude. Vedrana Todorovich. Michael Walden Topolovich. Jacqueline Ann Travers. Mary Traylor. Gina Ann Tricoli, cum laude. Melissa Ashley Trudeau. John Tuminaro, cum laude. Michael Wade Turner. Robert A. Urbick. Alejandro Enrique Utrera, magna cum laude. Jessica Marie Valancourt. Miles Godtrell Van Camp, magna cum laude. Adam Van. Dove Samaria Vavra. Jessica L. Vertovec. Nicole Viso. Jenna L. Vistain. Dawn Marie Velchek. Nicole Danielle Voda, magna cum laude. Jerry M. Voisem. James Matthew Vazella. Leland H. Wagner. Kathy Lee Walsh. Jeffrey G. Wortman. Tiffany V. Washington. Jessica Susan Weber, cum laude. Nathan Weber. Wesley E. Weems. Deanna M. Weilbacher. Jacqueline Marla Werner, cum laude. Amy Christine Wettingell. Hope K. Whitaker, magna cum laude. Bernice Latricia White. Carlene J. Weig. Jennifer Ann Wilczewski. Jennifer Ann Wilkeson. Gregory Thomas Williams. Roberta L. Williams, summa cum laude. Stacy Lee Winnett, magna cum laude. Keith Ryan Witalka. Jason S. Woods. Alyssa Joy Wright, magna cum laude. Terrence Reginald Young. Lorraine Zaragoza. Loretta Zebrowskite, cum laude. Sarah Catherine Ziegler. Mary Chris Zielinski. Catherine Elizabeth Zimmerman, cum laude. Euphemia M. Zuboridis.
In a moment, we will sing our alma mater. Chaplain Matheny will deliver the benediction, and our ceremony will conclude. The celebration, of course, will continue at a reception on the front lawn of the campus, and I hope you will all join us there. But I want to speak to you graduates one last time as you complete your years as students and join the ranks of alumni of the college. I speak on behalf of the faculty and staff and the Board of Trustees, the founders who built and nourished this school here at Elmhurst, the thousands of students who have walked this campus over the years, and all those who have contributed to your education are speaking to you as well. You now bear the honorable name of Elmhurst College, and you are going out into a world that desperately needs what that name stands for. In the front of the Frick Center, you will find inscribed on the wall these words of the 6th president of Elmhurst College, H. Richard Niebuhr: "The most urgent need of the present generation is light and warmth, the light of knowledge and the warmth of high idealism." Niebuhr wrote that 80 years ago, but it is just as true today. So I charge you, as you say farewell to Elmhurst College, to remember what it was like being part of a true community of learners, to live fully and well, and to lavish upon the world around you the light and warmth you carry within yourselves. With pride in your accomplishments and high expectations for the years ahead, your alma mater says to each of you, well done and Godspeed.
To you, the graduates who have come this far, remember what Isaiah declared unto you in the chapel. For you shall go forth out in joy and be led back in peace. The mountains and the hills before you shall burst into song, and the trees of the fields of your alma mater shall clap their hands in joy for what you have found. Go in peace, with thankfulness, great hope, and joy. Go now with love. Amen. Let's go.
those of us who work at Elmhurst College know this is a college that is personal, it's powerful, and it is oh so practical. I think about business, I think about speech pathology, I think about nursing, teacher education. These are all things that we're extraordinarily strong at, and they're extraordinarily sought after in the marketplace today. This is a very personal, powerful, and yes, practical institution.
Elmhurst College. What college ought to be.